Why does the CCP hate me? Why does it hate me just because I'm white, I'm Westerner, and I enjoy democracy and freedom, and the freedom to question my government without expecting to be prosecuted or knocked on the door because I have to? Why does the CCP hate the Westerners? Because we have this great freedom and privilege that even it doesn't have amongst itself. And I think this is the paradigm they've created amongst themselves. That their CCP itself is in a prison in itself, in its own mindset, it's a prison amongst itself. And it makes the people of China, it's not making the people of China look as clever as we know they are. We know the people of China are probably the smartest people average in the world. But the CCP is acting as if the Chinese people are not smart at all. This is a contradiction of China. What it's doing is not very clever, in other words. It's what it's doing with what is the show about Hong Kong, and if you go over there and speak your mind when you've had a few drinks or whatever, you just go there to enjoy yourself, and suddenly you can find yourself locked up in jail somewhere in China, getting questions about your motives against the CCP, when you might just be speaking your own mind because that's what you're used to doing. You can't. If the Chinese government, or CCP, cannot accept that when people go abroad and they go abroad to China from the West, we just stay as we are, then there's something wrong with their understanding of humanity as it is. I mean, they even don't even understand themselves that when they go abroad to another country, they continue to be Chinese or Communist Party members, and so they're free to do so in our countries. They're free to go and pick up in our countries and yap on about communism, how great it is. Yes, thank you, we'll have a chat about it. But we can't go to China and say how great democracy is, because, that offends them. You might get locked up for that. That's called treason or being a terrorist or something, because you're speaking your mind about something as a foreigner in their country. In other words, the CCP is an extremely racist organisation, not the Chinese people. Chinese people are all right. Just like everyone else, there's mixtures of people, mixtures of psychology and understanding. And Chinese people are wonderful people. I love them. But the CCP, I don't think the CCP actually likes the Chinese people. It thinks they're nuisances. Like if you have too many cats in a house, you have a few cats and then they breed up, and then there'll be lots of cats and more cats in your house, and suddenly you have a house full of cats. You don't have to feed them, you don't have to do with them, and suddenly you think, oh God, I've got all these cats, what am I going to do? I'm going to try and contain all these cats, and that's what they're trying to do with humans. Well, it's probably a little bit easier than humans. Humans are easier to fear and won't fight back as much as cats will, but they will in a way. But maybe I'm getting off the track, or this isn't really any track at all. I'm just saying that the CCP seem to not understand what has made Hong Kong a great place for business and why it's been very, very successful is the freedom of people have had when they've been there and protected by the law. Now, they've reversed that business model. And it brings to question the biggest business model. If the business model that the Chinese government, the CCP, is planting into Hong Kong is the same as the real business model inside all of China, then it's not a very successful one at all, is it? It's one built on a fiat, and a sort of fabricated one to look like it's really good by pushing all these little gambles all over the place to create a lot of stock that you have to sell on the world market. Well, and then if you can make everyone on the world market, everyone out there, all the Westerners and everyone else, we don't like you because you're Westerners and because you're talking about democracy, well, you sort of, instead of being kind to your customers, which makes a lot of sense, you're being very rude to the customers. So you don't really want return customers. You're saying to your customers, the people who need to buy all that stock that you're producing in China, in this fiat capitalism, fake capitalism in a way, You're saying to them, we don't like you, even though we want, oh, you must buy our stuff, but we don't like you very much because you Westerners, in spite, come to Hong Kong and speak about democracy freely, like you would in your own land, and like we can speak about communism when we're in your countries. And that's about as big of hypocrisy as you can get, is what the CCP. I thought they were going somewhere. I really thought the CCP were going somewhere. Now I think the CCP have become their own worst enemy. They might think they're going this idea of putting fear into everyone of visiting in Hong Kong might be a really good idea. But you're not, that was seen as you can't speak or say anything against Hong Kong, otherwise we can come and arrest you. What? You can't tell the world to shut up because you can tell the Chinese people to be quiet? It's obviously you have to have a bit of CCP ought to have a bit of conversation amongst itself. What are we talking about here? What is our aims? What is our actual aim? To own the world, to control the whole world, to control everything exactly as we manage it? For what purpose is that? Purpose of humanity? For harmony? Or what? What's the purpose of creating fear? You can't have a good business atmosphere in any situation by creating fear. It's just like there's a silly mafia running the world. Well, maybe, who knows, behind all the scene and behind everything. Who knows what runs the world these days? It's all a bit crazy. But the thing is, if the CCP picks this up, I don't know, maybe they are too arrogant, I don't know, or maybe but I'm saying from the kindness of my heart. I've got nothing against any person, no matter who they are, CCP. I don't have anything against anyone. I take all humans, treat them as the same. I don't care. I really am. I'm probably real communist. I think they're just pretending to be communists. I'm not into organising people into collectives to almost obey my word. That's not. I mean, there's a common humanity in me. What I afford to all humans. That's a different thing to their idea. Communism is to control everyone into some sort of unified model of a human, which might as well turn all Chinese people into robots for all their intended purposes. That's what they're trying to make them become anyway, robots with all this total control over them. What a great achievement for your people, got total control over your people like they're robots. So it's not that intelligent. It might sound clever and, oh, look how clever we are with technology. In the end, it's not very wise at all. Having the people totally living in fear is some sort of great achievement. Way, we've got all our people living in fear. Well, we've got all our people under total and absolutely control. They don't speak out of turn, they don't think out of turn, they don't smile out of turn, they don't frown out of turn. Well, we have achieved something real here, a fabricated and fake situation where the people of China thought they were going to get their freedom from this great communist revolution, and now it's turned back on them. It's a great shame for China and the Chinese people, and for humanity in general. That's the way you're going to run a business, by creating fear of people going to Hong Kong because you don't learn anything from the British. Well, that's not a sign of intelligence, because really intelligent means people learn from each other. There's a great wisdom in learning from others. A good business model is not where you have everyone living in fear of you. That's not a business model at all. It's a way to ruin business.